Coming down the right-hand channel.
First silverware of the campaign this season that is starting next week for Arsenal. And I think that they won't play in the first match, right? Against this newly promoted club. I think that they won't play in the first Premier League match on the 21st.
That will be the final
Arsenal.
Arsenal have done it.
You guys,
what a way to do it as well.
You guys totally
dominant.
You totally dominated
the entirety of this.
That's just, there's no two ways to spin it. You guys totally dominated. City, I don't know, man. I don't know what City was thinking, but I'm sat. You know, there is this meme going on around online, right? And it's, let's go to the other scene. And the man literally has a Manchester United guy holding a cup of a mug of beer, I think, and going, City fans are about to realize what happens when you lose a generational manager. I'm sorry, bro. I just gotta see, when Maresca went to go and have that interview with them and kind of made it public while he was still our coach, that's Chelsea, he kind of stood behind it. Even after he got exposed and he got laid off, and people started blaming Chelsea because, of course, we're guilty. We are fond of that. We are fond of always, sending out coach before sometimes they could even, do anything and stuff like that. And people blamed Chelsea, right? But come on, that's the same thing. And I guess that's why he's asking for Enzo Fernandez too, not just because they are Argentine, but because they are the same birds. They should flock together. And he only dropped an apology, which clarified things for some people that had it misconstrued. After Man City made the sign in public, he said he didn't mean for the whole thing to end like that. So that's why today's match was like slick for me. I didn't care whoever lost or whoever won. Actually, it's, to me, any eye goes there, I'm good with it, because Arsenal loses, noise reduces while it starts making noise. If City loses, Maresca Maresca pays for his sins, or he starts paying for his sins. I think it's a mess. What I think really killed them is, now enough gloating or just laughing at them. What I feel really killed them is, first off, they came into the match as if they were about to play a little bit serious but still friendly match, right? And then they woke up. But then there was a serious problem that I later looked at and I realized, and I said to myself, okay, this is the issue, right? And that serious problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that midfield. I know you are rating, what's it called, All High and Mighty, right? Anderson. And I don't really know what kind of player Anderson is, but I'm guessing he's quite attacking minded, Anderson, right? So you started an attacking minded midfielder alongside Kovacic. Kovacic has played for Madrid, he has played for Chelsea, so I know him to an extent because I like watching Madrid matches. And of course, I liked him at Chelsea. But Kovacic is not the guy you start for a match like this alone or alongside somebody that is not that defensively minded. So that midfield, literally, there was no control. Because right in front of them was Foden. Let me show you this stuff. That's what I'm looking at, right? Let me show you this stuff. So you started this guy. Let me get this off so you guys can see clearly. You started this guy alongside this guy. No control in that midfield. In their front line was a creative playmaker who will be supporting or replacing this one, supporting or replacing this one when they need to get something done, right? And we'll be trying to supply this guy. This one and this one are trying to supply. None of these two guys, this guy is better than this one though. That's Doku is better than Semedo. But none of them has a good track record of trying to help out the defense when they are caught on a counter. O'Reilly dropped a stinker, by the way. I don't even know what to say about him. Vardio was busy trying to play chess, not knowing that these people were not here to play at all. Forget chess or checkers. These people were not here to play at all. Diaz was trying to save that second goal that Havertz headed in with his leg. He could have gotten a red for that. That was high foot, right? Or maybe Havertz would have been penalized for, risky play, whatever. But he couldn't get it. Oh my God, guys. Sorry, we'd have to do this remaining of this. I forgot to plug my camera in. We'll have to do the remaining of this parts without the camera. But he couldn't get the ball, right? He couldn't get the ball. And then guess what happened? Vardio raised his hand for offsides, right? Because if you watch the replay well, they were trying hard to play a very straight line, right? And lost sight of. I'm going to come to Arsenal and the way they played that, and lost sight of the movement of Havertz. Havertz, whom we all know to be a deep line forward. Of course, when they scored that goal, if you were on the stream, you would notice I was saying that, oh, Havertz is fond of doing this. Havertz might drop his thinker throughout the entirety of a season, but you see finals. Havertz should be the number one man. You should ask your defenders, your track backs or whatever to man mark, to tight mark. Because Havertz just have one team for finals. Dude, this guy was a stinking CF and he won us the Champions League. What are you thinking, man? Like he won us Chelsea, the Champions League, man. We won Champions. See, Havertz and this guy, Timo Werner, right? They have that trait. And somehow you guys, we'll get to that goal Havertz scored, right? So you started your $100+ million guy, or he wasn't doing shit, and you played him entirely in the first half. Was it pride? Was it you were trying not to hurt his ego that after 20 minutes you want to say you did not see that this guy was doing nothing and there was nothing he could do against this guy? They drew Lewis Skelly, who actually plays as a left back on a norm whenever they are not playing him in the midfield. That means he's quite defensive already to an extent, but he's an offensive fullback in a way, right? So technically, they've already started with defensive measures in this midfield. Gimaresh helps with the attack, but he's quite good with defending. See, just mentioning these two guys alone, defensively, they are better than the what's it called, attack, midfield, Man City's midfield. And then Odegaard, it's quite a morale boost, right? It's their captain, and at the same time, Odegaard knows how to track back when he wants to, right? So defensively they were better, but offensively they were not better than what's it called? What's the name? Man City's midfield, right? But this is where it gets silly and crazy. I don't know what Kusanov, Diaz, and Vardio, O'Reilly, the instructions they were acting on, but I don't blame Donnarumma one bit. I see the commentator saying, I heard the commentator saying things like, oh, Donnarumma should have done more about that second goal. What would Donnarumma have done about that? That guy drifted in behind Diaz and Vardio. They were right in front of Donnarumma. Then he headed the ball into the ground. The best Donnarumma could have done, I'm not saying that he could not have gotten his hand into it if he had a better reflex in that moment, but the best he could have done when he got his hand to it would not have been even to be able to catch it, because it was a split second, right? He would have parried it and it would have hit him, right? Or it would have become a rebound for another snap player that was poaching in that moment. And if it had hit him instead, it would have been straight goal because it would have bounced back into the net. If it had become a rebound, it most likely would have ended up in the net. There's no way to blame Donnarumma. First goal, it was almost like a fluke, but you could see the intentionality behind it. They were caught off. That's why I said they didn't start the match with intensity. Man City didn't start that match with intensity. And you see that back line of Gabriel, Mosquera, White, and Jesus. Did you see that goal that almost entered from Doku? And Ben White was stretching his leg. That's what I would expect. The intensity I would expect from this back line of these guys, but that was what I saw from these guys instead. It's as if they just won the Premier League and they are still more hungry than the people that have something to prove, because they have something to prove right now that Guardiola is gone. Like, they were more hungry than this City. This match was almost as interesting as expected, but not in the way that was expected. I was expecting go. See, if I was a betting man and I betted on this match, I would have said it would be go. That's number one. And then any match, any team can win. But some I would favor Maresca more, because I would have thought Maresca is more tactical in a way than Arteta. But I'm sorry, apologies. And see, Zoli just showed them that signing past signing. Zoli over. Man, nothing else to say in this match, man. See, this guy dropped back for that his goal, as a deep line forward normally does. And then he ran in and got assisted by Zoli, right? This guy drifted to this point and you still could not exploit a counter against this part, because he was not the only one that drifted. He drifted all the way down here. And then this guy started drifting in. This Calafiori, he started going all the way down here. See the way he moved. He moved like this. And then this guy, while getting the ball, pew. Yeah, I beg, no go sleep. See, what this shows me is that no way anybody's going to run a train against Arsenal this season. Like they will say they expect from, oh, they just won, they are going to have a tough season. No, no. They obviously have restructured their team successfully already. That's what this thing just shows me. And then you see that meme that I made mention of in the beginning of that Man U guy holding the Chelsea jersey and cap. I'm sorry, wearing his Man U jersey, holding a mug of beer and saying that as Man City is about to realize what it means, what you go through when you just lose a generational manager. I think it's about to hold true this season because something has to be done. Oh. They will see. They did not just lose generational manager. They have lost the person of Rodri from obvious was it called now, and I think I heard that I've not been very paying close attention to the transfer market, but I heard the commentator said they've lost Tijani Reindeers too. Bro, issues go do. First of all, start Foden in that place instead of Semenyo. You are better off. Bring Checky. Checky should be starting. Bring him to that Foden position. This midfield, if you don't have a holding midfielder, a very good Rodri kind of midfielder, I'm talking anchorman or destroyer, right? Just carry yourself, JJ, shift, Checky, enter that midfield, make it just the rugged and make it just the rugged and with that one for now. You see this your two in the midfield alone with guys that can't really defend or control the tempo of the game. No, just not try them again. If not, you will have a worse season than Chelsea had in the Premier League last season. If you just try this nonsense, you just tried now. See that guy. There is nothing. You see, when your midfield is this shit that it cannot hold the ball, the only outcome whether you will win depends on your opponent being more of a shitty team than you are. If your midfield is shit. So if your midfield is bad, your opponent has to be worse for you. For you to do anything, your opponent. It's like you guys are not seeing what I'm saying. Let me zoom this thing in for you guys. Let me zoom this thing in. You cannot do anything, bro, against anybody with these two guys playing side by side. This guy will not drift. If this guy drift, this backline go leak. Diaz will not drift. If Diaz was a DMF now, I go say, okay, Diaz will be the destroyer. Yeah, he will not drift. And you need to remove this Kusanov from this right back. I don't know the lack of players you are dealing with, but Kusanov will not do it for you at that right back. Sorry, he will not do it for you. Kusanov should be here. What? Oh my God! What Arsenal did with Lewis Kelly in this LMF, CMF position is what you should have done with O'Reilly. Why would you? Congratulations, Arsenal. Congratulations. You outplayed Maresca, you outplayed Man City, and this Man City squad, the way it was set up, wasn't it? I feel Doku should have gotten something a bit more than 6.2 since you are giving Foden 6.2. He didn't manage to get a yellow, and he played better in my own opinion. I'm not even gonna lie. He played better in my own opinion. It was about the only ray of sunshine in the whole shenanigan, in my own opinion. And somehow you realized early that they locked Haaland. Like they locked this guy out, bro. And this guy was not getting any service that was as phenomenal as the things he used to get from De Bruyne. Or you would say that those weird passes that Rodri would drop sometimes. It was like a loner. More of like the way the formation sets him up, like it was a loan. And there was nothing he could do. See, this bastard Gabriel, he literally turned himself to Rudiger against him, man. He held him so well. And guys, that was a beautiful game. That was a beautiful game of football. So sad to see how it panned out for Man City, man. So sad to see how it panned out for them. But that was a beautiful game of football for any neutral fan. And let the season begin. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think in the comment section, by the way, guys. Arsenal fan, fire away with your W's. And what do you think? What do you think this tells about what's about to happen to Man City in the in the Premier League, man. And yeah, see you in the next watch along. See you in the next gameplay stream and football stream. And over and out, Sir Frank. Ciao.